Welcome to Duggar News 24, your daily source for the latest updates, headlines, and deep dives into the world of the Duggars. Subscribe and stay informed 24/7. Jill Duggar has many people on her mind this Father's Day, including her dad, Jim Bob Duggar. Happy Father's Day to my wonderful hubby at Derek Dillard, Jill 34, wrote via Instagram on Sunday, June 15, paying tribute to husband Derek Dillard. ILSM, and I'm so proud of you, and I know your dad would be too. Watching you with our kids melts my heart and reminds me how blessed I am to get to do life with you by my side. Thanks for loving well and pointing us back to Jesus through all the ups and downs. Jill shared several snaps of Derek, 36, with their three sons, Israel, Samuel, and Frederick, whom they welcomed in 2015, 2017, and 2022, respectively. She also uploaded a selfie of the couple, who tied the knot in 2014, visiting the gravesite of late daughter Isla. Jill revealed in April 2024 that she suffered a stillbirth. And happy Father's Day to my own dad at Duggar fam, who always made time for us kids and kept things exciting and adventurous growing up, including the family bike rides, work days at the car lot, meals of cold butter beans with ketchup and BBQ tuna fish sandwiches. She continued in her Sunday post. Jill also honored Derek's father, whom she shared she never met on this side of eternity. I get a little glimpse every day into the man you were just by being married to a wonderful son you helped raise, she concluded. Thank you for teaching him to love Jesus, work hard, treat women with respect, be a man of integrity, and not be afraid to show compassion and care to others. I am forever grateful and look forward to catching up in person one day on the other side. Jill, who rose to fame with her family in TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, has been candid through the years about her ups and downs with her parents and siblings. After the series was cancelled, Jill returned for the spin-off Counting On in 2017, but exited the show alongside Derek 2 years later. We were ready to leave and felt strongly about leaving. There are definitely some issues there, Jill exclusively told Us Weekly in 2021. We definitely feel like we're in a healthy place now for our family and have control over our lives. Certain people are more supportive than others. I think it ebbs and flows with a family of that size. Every family has drama, and so when you've got that many more people giving opinions or whatever, it can get crazy. Father's Day 2025 dawned bright and warm for Jill Duggar Dillard. The sun filtered through her kitchen windows as she prepared breakfast for her three boys, Israel, Samuel, and little Frederick. On this day, she found herself reflecting on the men who shaped her life, both past and present. Jill, 34, had taken to Instagram that morning to pen a heartfelt tribute, not only to her husband, Derek Dillard, but also, unexpectedly to many of her followers, to her father, Jim Bob Duggar, a man with whom she'd shared a complex, often strained relationship in recent years. Happy Father's Day to my wonderful hubby at Derek Dillard, she began. The accompanying photo captured a tender moment. Derek tossing a giggling Frederick into the air, his two older sons looking on with admiration. ILSM, and I'm so proud of you, and I know your dad would be too. Watching you with our kids melts my heart and reminds me how blessed I am to get to do life with you by my side. Thanks for loving well and pointing us back to Jesus through all the ups and downs. The photos told their own story, a story of healing, resilience, and love born of loss. One image showed the couple standing quietly at the gravesite of their daughter Isla, whom they lost in April 2024 to a stillbirth. Jill's hand rested gently on the headstone, Derek's arm around her shoulders. The pain of that loss was still fresh, but Father's Day offered her a moment to honor the strength she saw in Derek as a father who had loved and grieved deeply. But it was the second half of Jill's post that truly caught attention and stirred a mix of surprise, curiosity, and reflection among fans. And happy Father's Day to my own dad at Duggar fam, she continued, who always made time for us kids and kept things exciting and adventurous growing up, including the family bike rides, work days at the car lot, meals of cold butter beans with ketchup and BBQ tuna fish sandwiches. The words were simple, but to those who had followed Jill's journey, they felt profound. Jill's relationship with Jim Bob had not been easy. Years earlier, the once close father-daughter bond had frayed under the weight of family expectations, disagreements over boundaries, and the painful aftermath of public scandal. Jill grew up in the spotlight, one of 19 children in the Duggar household, first seen on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting. The family's faith, frugality, and strict values intrigued audiences, but behind the scenes, Jill had struggled with feeling controlled, her adult choices scrutinized, her marriage and parenting criticized, her financial autonomy limited by family contracts she hadn't fully understood at the time. When she and Derek chose to step away from the family spin-off show Counting On in 2019, it wasn't just a career move, it was a declaration of independence. The exit, Jill later admitted, was painful but necessary. "We were ready to leave and felt strongly about leaving," Jill told Us Weekly in 2021. "There are definitely some issues there. We definitely feel like we're in a healthy place now for our family and have control over our lives." Those words marked a turning point. Jill and Derek began carving out a life on their own terms. They welcomed their third son, moved to a new home, and continued building their marriage apart from the glare of television cameras. Yet even as she set boundaries, Jill's heart hadn't fully shut the door on reconciliation. Over the years there were signs of tentative steps forward: a shared meal during a family gathering, a polite exchange at a sibling's wedding, a quiet check-in when Isla passed. So when Jill chose to honor Jim Bob this Father's Day, it wasn't a performative gesture. It was, in her own words, an attempt to remember the good. A tribute to the father who, despite everything, had helped shape the woman she had become. "I can still hear Dad's laugh when we'd race down the hill on our bikes, or the way he'd get us all to pitch in at the car lot. Those were sweet moments, and I want to hold on to them," Jill confided to a close friend that afternoon as they sipped iced tea on the porch. For Derek, Jill's post was a sign of her quiet strength. He had watched his wife wrestle with grief, disappointment, and hope in equal measure. He knew how much courage it took for her to share those memories publicly. "You've got a heart as big as the world, Jill," Derek said as he wrapped his arm around her. "I'm proud of you." Father's Day carried layered emotions for Jill. Beyond Jim Bob and Derek, she thought of Derek's father, a man she'd never met but felt she knew through the stories Derek shared. "I get a little glimpse every day into the man you were just by being married to a wonderful son you helped raise," Jill wrote in her post. "Thank you for teaching him to love Jesus, work hard, treat women with respect, be a man of integrity, and not be afraid to show compassion and care to others. I am forever grateful and look forward to catching up in person one day on the other side." That message, too, reflected Jill's heart, a heart that had softened over time, that found beauty even in absence, that clung to faith even through hardship. By mid-afternoon, the Dillard home was filled with laughter. The boys had crafted handmade cards for Derek, filled with scribbled notes and crayon hearts. Jill had prepared Derek's favorite meal: grilled chicken, corn on the cob, and peach cobbler for dessert. As they gathered around the table, Jill felt a sense of peace. The road to this moment had been long and winding, filled with detours she hadn't anticipated. But here she was, surrounded by the family she and Derek had built together, imperfect, yes, but rooted in love and grace. Later that evening, Jill sat alone for a few moments on the porch swing, watching the fireflies dance in the twilight. Her phone buzzed. A message from a sibling she hadn't heard from in months. "Hey Jill, I saw your post today. It meant a lot. Maybe we could catch up soon?" Jill smiled, tears pricking her eyes. Maybe Father's Day could be a beginning, not just a memory. The story of Jill's Father's Day tribute became a talking point for fans and family watchers alike. Many took to social media to express admiration for her grace. She didn't have to say anything about Jim Bob, but she chose to. One follower wrote, "That's forgiveness in action." Others reflected on how Jill's post showed that even in broken relationships, it's possible to find moments of connection and gratitude. In interviews that followed, Jill clarified that her post didn't mean all was suddenly perfect between her and her father. "There are still boundaries we have in place for our family's well-being," she explained in a podcast appearance. "But I think it's good to acknowledge the good things when we can. That's part of healing." Indeed, Jill's Father's Day post wasn't about erasing the past. It was about honoring the parts of her father that had brought joy to her childhood, even as she continued to navigate the complexities of adulthood. And as she tucked her sons into bed that night, Jill felt hopeful. hopeful that by choosing grace, by remembering the good, and by walking in truth, she could continue to build a future where love triumphed over hurt.